Well, hey everybody. Welcome to our live feed tonight. Thought I'd stop in, see how everybody was doing. Got a lot of fun stuff to talk about today, going over fuel prices, how to mitigate fuel, things of that nature. So, first off, I want to start with that everything expressed in this is based on my own opinion, based on what I have seen and what I have read, and the articles that I will be referencing in this. The links to the description will be linked in the description below to these articles. So, anyway, without any further ado, how's everybody doing today? It's been a slow weekend for me. We're out here in Nevada taking a reset, trying to find some freight out of here, and our freight market in this area is just a little bit thin, but it'll be all right. We'll get there. So, had to get some tire chains on the truck to be able to make this endeavor over here because we got all them mountains and stuff out this way being out west that you got to have all these lovely tire chains. So good news is at least the price of the tire chains have went down, and I'm at least ecstatic for that. So anyway, we've all noticed that the prices of fuel have been going through the roof lately, and that it has become quite an interesting challenge to be able to mitigate some of these fuel costs. So, the first thing I want to look at here is we are looking at the National Fuel Index, and this was published on March 28th of 2022, and the next one is going to be released Monday. So, right now, according to the National Fuel Index, as of last Monday, the average price of diesel in the U.S. was $5.18.5, which is up 51 cents from I'm sorry, 0.051 cents a gallon from last week. And compared to a year ago, we are up $2.24 a gallon. So the price of fuel has been pretty hefty lately. So I wanted to pose a question as to how do you guys manage your fuel? Hop in the comments and let me know. So anyway, and it's been quite a interesting turn of events because you know there's been we haven't seen diesel prices going this high since what I have been told from other owner operators who have been down, who were around back in 2008 when they said that the fuel prices were, they were paying like $6 a gallon for diesel and hauling $1.25 freight. So I don't know. It definitely looks like it's going to continue to go up, and it doesn't seem to be coming down anytime soon. But our glorious leadership in all of their infinite wisdom here that they have, they released this statement earlier Thursday that says the U.S. will release 1 million barrels of oil per day from its strategic reserves to help cut gas prices and to fight inflation across the country. The White House had announced that Thursday, and it says President Joe Biden plans to tap the nation's strategic petroleum reserve for the next 6 months as domestic producers ramp up production, according to a fact sheet released by the Biden administration. So, to me, it sounds like it is a band-aid on for a short-term fix for a long-term problem. So there you go. There's one way to manage your fuel. You said you don't idle between 40 and 60 degrees. Yeah, that is very good advice. I completely agree with that. Yeah, there's no need to sit here and idle your fuel. And when it's those temperatures, I mean, you can just stay perfectly comfortable. But I mean, to each their own. I mean, it's about combating these fuel prices at this point in time. So. So that leads to the next question, since we have just covered what the White House has said, and we'll go over that and reiterate this one more time. is what do you think of the White House's plan for this? Do you agree that this is a band-aid on a short-term problem, or is this something that's actually going to be useful? So tell me what you think. I mean, because and if you go down to the next paragraph, it says the scale of the release is unprecedented. The world has never had a release of oil reserves at this 1 million per day rate for this length of time. And the White House said in its release, says this record release will provide a historic amount of supply to serve as a bridge until the end of the year when domestic production ramps up. So sounds like that they're going to try to figure out a long-term plan, but for the time being, they're just going to put their Band-Aid on there. And, well, hello to you too there, Raw Trucking. How you doing today? So what do y'all think of that plan? Do you think that it's actually going to be able to help out in the long run, or do you think that this is just kind of going to be one of those things where it's just a kind of a Band-Aid? I think it's kind of ignorant myself. I think that that's not a long-term plan, that you can't maintain that over a long period of time, because again, those are our reserves. So Raw Trucking says that this is incredibly stupid of our government. I mean, like I said, I think it's a Band-Aid. I'm not an economist, so I don't see it being a long-term solution. I see that maybe in the future we'll have a short decline in fuel prices, but then they're going to go back up. Oh, yeah, hi, Kayla. Yeah, Tank, he's back there sleeping. He decided he didn't want to party with us today. And New Hampshire Lone Wolf, useful in the short term, but they will allow us to produce our own oil. We're kind of screwed. Yeah, I completely agree. I would like to see us go back to our energy independence and to where we can be able to produce our own oil, have our own pipelines and things of that nature, and not only put our American citizens back to work, but be able to bring them fuel prices back down. I mean, all of us miss $1.89 gas. I mean, I miss $2 a gallon diesel, but yeah, Band-Aid on a bullet hole. I mean, that's kind of a general consensus that I've heard. I mean, we might be kind of going against the mold here with what they're saying, but I wanted to show this other one here. If we can go over here and look at this, I have from the same people who produce the National Fuel Index from EIA, the short-term energy outlook. And I'm not going to go through all of this jargon over here. Like I said, I have the links and everything in the bottom, but I just want to reference this chart right over here where we are talking about what their predictions in the short term for what diesel fuel is going to be. And if we zoom back out here, we can see that we have 2020, 2021, 2022, and 2023. So we're just going to talk diesel for the price of this. Diesel fuel in 2020 says their average was $2.56 for the national average. 2021 said $3.29, and for 2022 they said that theirs was $4.15 a gallon. Well, we just saw, as we went back over here, that on here our current national index for diesel is $5.18 a gallon. So they missed the mark by about $1. So again, these are just predictions, and for the short-term energy outlook, they're saying by 2023, diesel's going to be down to $3.80 a gallon, which I would not be mad if I saw $3.80 a gallon for diesel again. I would very much love that. But I think that may be possible if we can reestablish our energy independence, but I don't believe that long-term it is going to go that way, because everything is cyclical and everything runs in a cycle. Let's see. What's my opinion on start-stop APU or EPU options? Personally, I hate start-stop because it wakes me up every freaking time, but that is just my personal opinion. I know a lot of people like them. They help mitigate fuel costs to a degree. I mean, you're still idling the engine, but, it's not consistent. So, but Kayla says that overnight it burns less fuel and that they prefer it. I mean, I agree. I'm a personal fan of either an APU or an EPU. Right now on my truck, I have an APU. That is my preferred method of fuel saving. is, one backing down on my speed, not running 70, 75. I run, if time allows it, I try to run about, I try to run between 64, 65. And I've got another page that'll go over some different analytics that where we can talk the percentages and things of that nature, where it'll show the percentages of what backing down your fuel or backing down off the throttle will do for your fuel. But as for me, I prefer an APU. One, because I know how to work on it and I know how to maintain it and all of that. And Kayla says that she prefers an EPU. But the difference between an EPU and an APU is an APU is diesel powered, and it's a little diesel. I think it's a 2-cylinder diesel motor. You can get them from Tripack, Carrier, Thermal King. I think Green makes one. And EPU is just basically EPU is just basically a battery, an additional battery pack that will power everything inside the truck. When those batteries get low, the truck starts on, and they kind of work in tandem with a start-stop system. So, sorry, Jake. It's Jake's under Kayla's profile. Anyway, so let's go back over here and let's see what Pedigree Truck Sales has to say in this opinion on this. So these are tips for what they say is to get better semi-truck fuel economy. So like we just talked earlier, it says reduce speed. So for every mile per hour that you increase your speed, you reduce your fuel efficiency by 1/10 of a mile per gallon. So traveling at 75 miles per hour uses 27% more fuel than driving the same distance at 65 miles per hour. And again, and this is where you start getting into like that prime territory, where like you're borderline on being a danger to society, especially if you're in a 75-mile-an-hour zone. It says if you slow down to 55 miles per hour, you will use less fuel than at 65. Duh. I think your optimum fuel ratio for the air drag coefficient or whatever they call it, between 55 is like your optimum, where your amount of output equals the amount of input that you're getting from the wind, so everything's balanced. But running around a 55 mile an hour in a 75 mile an hour zone just makes you a danger to society. So, and you think it's six other batteries on the EPU? Well, I haven't had one, so that's news to me. And then we go down here, and it talks about reducing idle time. And I don't agree with this first one that says to plan routes to avoid traffic jams and minimize time at stoplights. I mean, stoplights are part of driving, and traffic jams. You get somebody with attention deficit, shiny disorder, you got a traffic jam, boom, right there for no reason. It says if you're trying to keep warm during the stop, bring along a small generator, a lightweight heater that doesn't depend on your truck's fuel tank. I don't really agree with that one either, because a lot of trucks these days have S-bar heaters and bunk heaters. So I have never, I can't say I've never frozen with a S-bar heater in my truck, but having one of those in your truck is fantastic. Then you have truck stops that offer climate control and appliances. The only place I've ever seen truck stops that have that climate control stuff is like in Texas and Arkansas, and they are very, they're not expensive. I think like last time I did one, it was like $12 a night, but they're just, they fill up quick. And then right here, like we were talking, invest in engine shutdown startup systems that automatically start and stop your engine based on set time periods, ambient temperatures, and other factors. And then you've got things like tires. This is another thing. The aerodynamics. It says when processing the, let's see, where is it at? Aerodynamic drag or wind resistance causes your engines to work harder than it should and use more fuel. At highway speeds, reducing drag by 25% can improve fuel economy by 15%. So that's talking like the flow below systems. And I don't know if you guys have ever ran with trucks that have the flow below systems on them, but they work great for long over the road, long-term OTR type things. The trucks that I've had that have had flow below on them, that system, that aerodynamic stuff with the rim covers and all that fancy plastic stuff that comes off the wheels, has average between 8.5 to 9 miles to the gallon, whereas the trucks I've got that I've had that haven't had it have been around 7.5 to 5. Oh, excuse me, I needed to get a drink. Anyway, so that's what that was talking about. And then, oh, there's the button. So yeah, and then they've got that stuff that goes on the trailers and stuff. Your trailer also makes a difference, reducing the gap between your trailer and your tractor and your trailer from 45 inches to 25 inches can save 2% on fuel. But you also, what they don't say on that is when you decrease that gap, you also lose your swing diff clearance, so you can't actually jackknife your truck as tight as you would want to. So, and then, there's other things and other ideas like fuel cards and things of that nature that allow you to be able to save on fuel and things. So, so how fast do you typically run your truck, compared to everybody else? Like, I'm running mine right now, as long as I'm not super pressed for time and I got to put my foot down and get moving. I mean, typically right now I'm running about 65 miles an hour, 64. I'm trying to squeeze every little penny out I can, keep my boost down, so that way I'm not working as hard. So, and other than that, other than how fast you run your truck, what types of fuel cards do you use and what kind of discounts do you get? That's another interesting topic that a lot of people like to talk about. You run 70, but you're currently a company driver. Well, I mean, hey, dude, you're on their dime. You're not paying for the fuel, so kind of not really that big of a deal when you're not paying for the fuel and you're running theirs. And when you get yours, will be around 65. So yeah, we'll be putting in the right lane instead of the fast lane truck. We'll be the right lane truck. So at least till fuel prices come back down anyway. So, but another thing that's nice is, like, if you're running some contract freight, with fuel being up the way that it is, the fuel surcharge is going up. So if you get 100% pass through that fuel surcharge with the carrier that you're leased to, like the last load that I pulled coming from the house going to North Carolina, it had, it ran, the fuel surcharge on it was like $554. And what I paid for fuel was like $535. So I actually made money off of the fuel surcharge running like I did. So, oh, you're running TCS. You're getting a NASTC card soon. Okay. I've heard good things about NASTC. I like them. I talked to one of their, I don't know if you call them a recruiter or not, but I talked to one of the ladies in their office about getting in with them about one of their cards. And they got me some really good information. So I thought the idea of having to pay a membership every year was kind of strange, but I mean, for what they're offering at a cost plus program fuel discount, it seemed to be really good. And I've already put a video out in the past about what my TCS card has gotten me. So, and actually, I do believe I can get logged in here and I can show you currently what some of my TCS discounts are, if this will work with me. So, where are we at? Find fuel now. Oh, everything's getting crazy on me. All right, let's go over here. All right, so let's look at, let's go Oak Grove, Missouri, and let's run that to Tracy, California. And let's see what we come up with fuel prices and discounts there. So TA Oak Grove, we're back down to getting 61 cents a gallon. Let's look over here. What do we get in Reno? Reno get 38 cents off the gallon. California, that's got nothing on it. 62 cents. Wow, retail price $6.21 in California. Wow, TCS price $5.59 with 62 cents off. So, I mean, you can get some decent discounts off there. I mean, let's see, Salt Lake City. What do we got there? That don't tell us nothing. Okay, 18 cents off there. No discount there. Ooh, stop zooming in here. Daggum MacBook. So, but yeah, so I mean, you can still get decent discounts with TCS. I mean, there for a while they had a couple places when everything was spiraling and going crazy. They saw like $1.15 a gallon discount from them. Oh, also looking at getting A to B and pairing it with Mudflap. I've heard of a lot of people doing that. I don't know particularly how that's going to work. I know A to B's got a couple of things. Jake, what's better paying to cost to haul dry van, cars, or reefer? Well, buddy, I don't have access to all of that right now. Talking about freight rates, I mean, with what I'm seeing on dry van stuff, it's kind of starting to go down a little bit, but the prices are still relatively well and doing good. Reefer is incredibly seasonal. They have their hot seasons and their slow seasons, just like anything. And what was the other one? Car haulers? I don't know anything about hauling cars, buddy. That's outside of my realm of expertise. But since we're talking about rates and getting onto that subject, um, we got a little bit off topic here. But like the whole main premise of what I'm trying to encompass here with all of this stuff, talking about the price of diesel, the national fuel index, what their predictions are, what our current administration is saying about releasing these barrels of oil, talking about ways to be able to increase our fuel mileage, and watching the national fuel index. I mean, this is a wonderful tool. Like even right here, it says California is 628 on average for just California. That's not including the rest of the country. So the point of, yeah, you're right. It is absolutely 100% all too expensive. I mean, the price is going up. So where I wanted to steer this in a direct, oh, my light shut off. Hold on. Technical difficulties. There we go. We're back. Anyway, sorry about that. Anyway, so where I was going with all of this is, with the way that everything is going and the prices of our fuel and the cost of operations for our truck is going up, the freight market eventually is going to have to go back up. But what it's showing is, if you look at the cycle of how freight rates go, 2008, it plummeted. We had an uptick, and I guess that light's just dead. Oh, well. Anyway, and we had an uptick. 2018 was a super great year. 2019 totally tanked. Was not a good year at all. And, for the last while, we've had a really, really high run on this particular market. And it has sustained and been super high for a really, really long time. It's only a matter of time before this stuff starts coming down. So it's not unwise to prepare yourself currently to set yourself up and come up with a business model that's going to afford you the ability to be able to run as we come into what I am predicting to go into being a downturned market. I'm not saying that it's going to be put everybody out of business. I'm not saying it's going to be the end of the world. But what I'm saying is there's a lot of people out here that are kind of just brushing this off, and the signs are there that we're going into a recession and that things are going to be going in on a downturn. So it would be wise for us to come together and figure out the best practices and the best business applications to be able to keep our trucks running, to be able to keep our business going, and to be able to come out on the other side of this together, and to be able to still be able to provide services to our customers and to serve our country as they need us to, and with the hauling the freight that needs moved, and hopefully still get paid decent enough to do it. Because I don't know anybody who wants to come out here and run balls to the wall and end up only making, $1.25 a mile. That's just not profitable for many people. So, especially if you've got brand new trucks, high truck notes, and you bought a truck right now where, trucks are appreciating instead of depreciating like they're supposed to. Oh, well, thank you, Kayla, Jake, whichever one you are about that. I appreciate that. A lot of people don't tend to agree with my future prognosis here. So, But anyway, so we have any other questions or conversation topics that anybody wants to go over particularly, or maybe I can find something related to. Um, so that's pretty much most of the conversational topics that I had. So I apologize for the technical difficulties with the light dying and having to turn this one up, and old Fido over here just being a sleepy little mess. So if anybody else has any other questions or things to address, I'm more than open to doing the best that I can to be able to address these questions. So, sherbet or ice cream? Oh, God, we're going back to that again. We've been fighting about the whole sherbet or ice cream thing for the last, since 2018, I think it was. I'm telling you, it was purple sherbet. It was not ice cream. I don't know what it was, but anyway. So, but overall, I think that we may see a short downturn. I think we'll see another longer uptick. But I would predict that come next election season that this is going to end up coming back down, or leveling out, provided we're not in World War III by then with everything that's going on politically in the world. But I don't foresee that happening at any point in time soon either. What is your take on the new things that USA is doing with the IC program? Are you referencing the new safety bonus stuff that they're putting in place and the increase on the fuel card discount that they're offering? Their lone wolf trucker. Is that what you're referencing? Because there was, I know for a while everybody was not very happy with what our prior fuel discount was. Okay, so yes. So personally, my own personal preference as to what they're doing here with their new incentive for their safety bonus, getting an extra 2% back paid for the month prior if you have no safety violations. I really don't think that we need a safety bonus to be able to encourage us to work safe and do the right thing. I mean, if you're a problem and you're not working safe and you're constantly violating hours of service, I think there's a deeper issue than a safety incentive. Like that's kind of like a Band-Aid on a bullet hole. 67% if you have all the safety stuff, and then you get an additional 2% back paid. That's 69%. I mean, why not just split it? I don't know. I personally, when I have worked with other companies that started implementing safety bonuses and these really high tier recruitment bonuses, it's not always been for the best. I'm not a particular fan of those type of things. I believe that it's not rooting out the problem. I believe it's incentivizing people to do the wrong thing. I believe if you're going to offer a pay increase or something to that effect, either pay the people that are doing the right thing what they're worth, or just don't do anything at all, because all you're doing is putting a Band-Aid over a bullet hole. Secondly, as far as the fuel discount increase, I completely support that. I mean, we have Comdata cards, and I think the last time I looked at Comdata, they're either like a cost plus 4 discount or a cost plus 8 discount. I don't remember which one it is. So, and increasing us from 10 cents per gallon off to 25% off per gallon. I mean, that's much better than the alternative of no fuel discount. Like I just showed with my TCS card, in certain places I can still get better fuel discounts, but if I'm in a pinch where I'm outside of the TCS network, I can most definitely be able to count on that card to at least alleviate some of the cost. It's better than nothing. I completely agree with that. But for the safety bonus, I think I'm not a fan of it. Now, if it works out and it doesn't have any negative repercussions against us who are doing the right thing. Um, totally fine with it. I mean, not everybody's perfect. Everybody makes a boo boo. It happens. But that's at least my take on it. Man, my phone is blowing up over here. I'm glad I put that on vibrate. So, what's your next question, buddy? Um, so, I mean, I have faith that at the end of everything, we're all going to be all right, and I would like to believe that they're doing the right thing for everyone. Um, I just get leery when they start tossing around safety bonuses. That's just me, though. Is yams yams and sweet potatoes? They're kind of all the same thing. 81 or 95 corridor? I'll take the 81 corridor all day long. 95, you guys can keep that. I don't even go that far east. 95 is a headache all the freaking way from the southern tip of Florida all the way up to wherever it ends. It is terrible. I cannot stand 95. I used to run that all the time when I was running reefer freight. It'd be up and down, and it was just, it's just such a nasty corridor. I could probably navigate 95 blindfolded with as many times as I ran that corridor of the country. So I'd have to say one of my favorite runs is, I would probably say, either I-10 out of Florida into California, or I would go the way across. Um, I find it real pretty to be down there. Yeah, ends in Maine in the USA. Yeah, I have no desire to deal in New York City and all that stuff. Oh, it can be too. I like it. Yeah. So yeah, that I would. Now, I mean, I fuel economy is concerned. I like 10. 10's way flatter. You have a couple of places that's pretty high on 40. Flagstaff, Kingman, all them. My favorite run, favorite highway to run, excuse me, I would have to say is going to be the Nevada 95 that all the way up to Reno, takes you through um, takes you through Death Valley over the Grand Canyon. You can see the Hoover. It's super hilly, lots of fun stuff. I don't recommend it. And let's see. I-80 is your favorite. I can't really necessarily argue with that. I-80 is absolutely wonderful. Um, I like running. I mean, I don't run up there a lot just because in the wintertime there's a lot of chances to get snowed in up there or get things to pile up or stop it, and it's super windy up there. But I-80 is a really beautiful stretch of land. I do like Iowa. One of my favorite truck stops at Iowa 80s up there on I-80, so right in Iowa. So that one's really nice. Little America is on 80. Um, those are some truck stops. I tell you what, them Little Americas are beautiful, and tons and tons of parking. And but now Donner Pass is fun. Well, I wouldn't say it's fun to go over because it's a huge, huge place. But if you can go through there through the right time of year, it's a really interesting sight to behold going through there. Just being snowed in on top of it ain't no fun, and having to chain up to get over it's not fun either. But you got to do what you got to do to get over it, I suppose. So, well, y'all, if there is not any other questions or any other topics you guys want covered, we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. It appears that everybody is about out of here, and we're slowing down here. So um, if you got any further questions, drop them in the comment below. We'll talk about it. And if not, I'm going to give it a couple minutes here, and then we'll take off out of here. So I really appreciate y'all taking time out of your day and hanging out here. Yeah, I agree. Donner is nice in the summer. That actually leads me to a story. The first time I went over Donner Pass, I had just switched out with my teammate that I was teaming with in Sparks, and I was still, I was, I'd say I had maybe about a year and a half, 2 years. One of the first times I had went over Donner Pass, and it was clear there wasn't no snow or nothing, but they had a snowstorm that came through a couple weeks ago prior. And I got up to the top of Donner. That rest area is going out of Reno into Sacramento. And I pulled into the rest area because I was so dumbfounded that there were just, the road was clear straight through. It looked like they just taken a drill and cut right through all the ice and snow. The rest area because I'm just like so awestruck that, and I'd never seen snow this high. There's literally snow banks like 20, 10, I mean, taller than my freaking semi out there. And the whole rest area building, except for the door, was just completely buried under snow. Like, it is just astronomically unbelievable the amount of snow that they can get up on Donner Pass. And it was so strange. Like, took my dog out, let him go, and I had to take him out. And there wasn't even anywhere where he could go. He just literally hiked his leg on a giant wall of snow that was taller than my semi truck. And I'm just glad he didn't get frozen snow because old Goliath would have been really, really mad. So, but anyway, but yeah, it was so cool. And then as you were going down the other side, once you started getting up in the elevation there, you couldn't see out, you couldn't see the trees, you couldn't see the drop off. It was just like driving through a tunnel of snow with the roof with the sky open above you. And it was like that all the way till we got down to the other side and back into the Sacramento area once we came down the side of the mountain. So yeah, if you're ever up there, it's a beautiful sight to see, but watch your speed going down. It'll creep up on you real quick. And no, we are not having that conversation on this live stream. That is not the topic for today. So anyway, other than that, if nobody else has any further questions or any intel, I'm gonna give it about another minute, and then we're gonna cut this short. So I appreciate y'all. Thank you for hanging out with me. It's been a pleasure. Everything in this is, like I said, of my opinion and what I see. I do believe we'll come out on the other end of things and we'll be stronger and better than what we were. And I would like to see all of us come together in unity and to be able to come up with a plan to work together as a whole and to be able to continue to help our country survive. So until then, I love y'all, and we're going to cut this out here. So y'all have a great night, and thanks for hanging out with me.